Hey guys, Kathy here from Parents Academy. Today's topic is going to be about keeping it together when your kids are falling apart. I know that one of the things that is the easiest to trigger us is when someone else is in, oh my gosh, a total meltdown, a freak out, screaming, crying, whatever form the tantrum takes. You know, we think about children having tantrums and they get on the floor and they yell and they scream and they kick and they fight and they bite and they hit and they spit. And really, tantrum behavior looks about the same with anyone who's having a tantrum. You know, maybe we are not getting on the floor ourselves and banging our own heads, but we're banging our heads quite a bit when we look at how we respond to someone else having a meltdown. If we also go into red alert, high level, emergency zone, 911, everything's about to blow, we just make the problem even worse. So, you know, looking at how do you kind of step back from somebody who's really losing it and not be condescending. You know, in our class on emotion coaching, we talk about helping your child when they're going through a rough emotion. And that's part of also helping yourself. You know, a lot of the things that I read about emotion coaching talk about step back and take a look at your own emotions. If we are triggered when they are going off, we just have a double problem now at this point. So looking at how can I, when someone else is having a really rough time, just kind of step back, take a minute, take a breath, and realize, you know, I love this child even when they are a hot mess. How can I be there in this mess? And sometimes our kind of default mode is back off, get away, get out of the room. When you're done crying, call me back. And the reality is they need us there to witness, not just to witness the tantrum, but to witness that even when you are crazy and loud and wild and out of control, I still love you. I'm still here for you. So one of the things we can do is look at our own breathing, because as they're getting louder and louder, sometimes our breathing is getting more and more shallow. And we start holding our own breath, waiting to see if they're going to hold their breath. And so one of the things that's been helpful to me in understanding about emotion coaching is that I have to tune into what I'm feeling. Because sometimes we go from 0 to 60 and we didn't even realize how far gone we were. If in your childhood, a lot of the messages you got about emotions were life is hard, keep it to yourself, suck it up, you may not really have the emotional intelligence developed. I know as a kid, you know, I just kind of like shut down. I mean, I looked at you know, I didn't really feel like there was anybody who was going to help me with a rough time, so it was up to me. And you know, as a child, we do need somebody to walk us through those dark places. And when I look at children having a rough time, someone can like step a little closer and say, you know, I'm right here. Mommy's right here. I remember one tantrum that my niece had. She was upset and she was like, I'm mad, Daddy, I'm mad. I'm really, 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 really mad. And my brother's like, okay, I'm right here. I'm right here. I'm right here. And after a while, she was like, I'm still mad. And he would be like, I'm right here. And watching that interchange is that says it's okay to be a hot mess and I will still love you when you're a hot mess. And part of de-escalating the problem is not adding fuel to it, but just like, I'm right here. I'm right here and I'll help you in any way that I can. When they calm down, that's when they need the connection more. They're actually throwing out an alarm for they need a lifeboat. We are the lifeboat, and maybe we're tossing that life ring out to them. They're not ready to catch it. And that can be really difficult because we want to swoop in. We want to fix it. As parents, we are kind of programmed to be fixers. We want to take the hurt away. We want to take the problem away. And part of emotion coaching is to be there with them as they go through the hurt, as they go through the problem, and for them to see they love me even when I'm losing it. They'll be here for me through the challenge. And when I calm down, they'll be there to listen, to care, and just to give me a hug for a while before we start problem solving. The thing is that we jump as parents straight to the problem solving. Well, if you would have done this, you wouldn't be so upset. If you would have listened, if you would have taken a nap, then you wouldn't be so cranky now. That's not helpful. We cannot rationalize with anyone who's having a meltdown. Yet we try that. We try to go from their feelings, their needs, their feelings, we jump straight to behavior. And the reality is they need to know while they're going through a rough time, I'm still here. And when it slows down, we can connect. I remember hearing my niece saying, okay, Daddy, I'm not so mad anymore. I'm done being mad. And you know, we need that time to be mad or to be sad or to be lonely or to be afraid. And if we're going to build intelligence, emotional intelligence in our children, part of the message has to be that whatever you're feeling is okay. All feelings are accepted. All behaviors are not. So yes, you can be really sad and you can be really mad, but you can't kick Daddy and you can't hit Mommy. We're going to give them some boundaries, some guardrails, some fences, if you will, in how to behave when they're upset. But we're not going to be able to problem solve what to do when all circuits are going off and all circuits are breaking down. So if we're going to be doing emotion coaching, it means stepping in, getting a hold of ourselves, bringing down escalating our own feelings of fear, inadequacy. I think there's a lot of guilt when your child goes off because you think, well, if I would have A, B, C, D, this wouldn't be happening. If I would have this, or if I wouldn't have this. You know, the reality is not about you. It's about them, and the storm is in their head. You know, we don't look at the Weather Channel and say, I caused that hurricane. Well, why do we look at our child and say, I caused that tantrum? The reality is there's a weather system going on in their emotions, and part of learning to grow and understand who we are as humans, who we are as complex emotional beings, is to realize that there will be some high weather systems coming in. And if we are loved, valued, and accepted during the hurricane, we can continue to build the relationship, the strength, the comfort, the safety zone when that hurricane is over. So take a breath. Realize you're not causing the tantrums. The tantrums are going on in their internal weather system, and how you react and respond will either make them longer and more intense, or maybe just that storm system will start to fade as they begin recognizing their own emotions and being able to share those emotions with you in a way where we accept them, and we're not like, well, I don't know why you got so mad. You got nothing to be mad about. It's your own fault. That never helps. Think of anybody in your life who did the I told you so. Did that change your behavior? Did you feel better when somebody said, well, it's your own fault. You should have thought of that. Look, I saw it coming. A, B, C, D, F, G. They want to give you the whole history channel on everything you did wrong up to that point in time. Not helpful. And it's not helpful for our kids either. So be gentle with ourselves. Be gentle with your kids. Realize that they're practicing on you of how to learn to deal with their emotions for the rest of their life. It's a big job, but you have the heart, you have the soul, and you have the arms to put around them when the times are rough.